to steer the ship of this nation to an economic prosperity and to leave an indelible mark on the sands of time in our country, Nigeria. Happy birthday, Mr. President. And thank you so very much for being who you are and for making sure that our country is ready for the 21st century. Thank you so very much. Moving on swiftly, today's conference is another special edition as we will be engaging with one of our leaders in this Renewed Hope administration, who is Dr. Sunday Dare, CON. He's a special advisor, media and public communication and spokesperson to the president. As always, my co-host for today, Honorable Jacob Ogusheye, Haji Areki Abello Abubakar, Udeme Ukwe, Sheung Bayiwu Tosin Olayinka, who will be assisting me in moderating today's conference to ensure a smooth and uninterrupted deliberation. This conference is streaming live across social media and especially on Ben TV, courtesy of the CEO of the first Nigerian African TV digital channel, led by Alistair Shoyode. Many thanks, sir, for your support as always. Just looking through the conference room now, I think it's the usual norm now. We have new faces mixed with the old faces. So towards the end of the conference, I will be recognizing the presence of some of our stakeholders and some of our leaders across the globe. Thank you so much for being there every time and supporting our conference. In the meantime, on behalf of the team behind the Renewed Hope Global, I welcome you all to today's session. Now, today, as usual, we have in our midst one of the top VVIPs from the administration of President Tinubu. The VVIP is no other person than Dr. Sunday Dare, CON, Special Advisor, Media and Special Communication and Spokesperson to the President. And our topic for today is Advancing Public Communication and National Orientation under the Renewed Hope Agenda. This platform, as you all know by now, was set up as a veritable vehicle for interaction between Nigerians across the globe and our leaders in Nigeria. These are the people that hold the apron strings of our country and are steering the ship of our beloved fatherland with a view to enlightening our people regarding the inner workings of the Renewed Hope administration. So today, as always, we will be exploring another segment of President Tinubu's vision and policies in an interactive interview with one of the big shots within the government, who will be dissecting President Tinubu's administration, shedding light on its significant achievements and forward-looking plans as encapsulated in the Renewed Hope agenda, upon which the president campaigned, and we all gave him the mandate as well as the keys to Aso Villa on the 25th of February 2023. So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, once again, I'm pleased to announce to the House that our special guest of honor for today has joined the conference. Of course, he is no other person than, and they don't come any bigger than this, I must say, is Dr. Sunday Dare, CON. He's the Special Advisor, Media and Public Communications and Spokesperson to the President. So, moving on swiftly, before we give you the floor to our special guest, I think it's appropriate for me to read out his profile so that we get to know who we have on the hot seat today. Dr. Sunday Akindare, CON, is a distinguished media, public affairs, and governance expert with a career spanning journalism, public communication, and policy advisory. On October 23, 2024, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, appointed him Special Advisor on Public Communication and Orientation. He previously served as Nigeria's Minister of Youth and Sports Development from 2019 to 2023, where he championed reforms in youth empowerment, grassroots sports development, and infrastructure modernization in the sports sector. Before his ministerial appointment, he was an Executive Commissioner, Stakeholder Management at the Nigerian Communication NCC from 2016 to 2019, overseeing engagements with key public and private sector stakeholders in Nigeria's telecommunications industry. Dr. Dare played a key role in political communication as Chief of Staff and Special Advisor on Media and to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu during his All Progressive Congress APC leadership, handling strategic messaging, media engagements, and public affairs. And in 2009, he was appointed Senior Special Assistant Media to the Minister of Information and Communications, managing public information dissemination and media-related policy decisions for the federal government. Significant international and Nigerian media contributions mark his journalism career. From 2001 to 2009, he was the chief of the Hausa Service African Division at Voice of America VOA in Washington, D.C., leading the production of daily radio and online broadcast programs while managing an international team of journalists and correspondents across West Africa. He also served as a New York correspondent for the Nation magazine and a production editor for the European-backed Fourth Estate magazine and during Nigeria's military interregnum. He was a key founding member of the renowned Nigerian weekly magazine, The News and Temple. Dr. Dari holds multiple academic and professional qualifications from prestigious institutions worldwide, including a Nieman Journalism Fellowship in Journalism and New Media Studies from Harvard University, no less, and an academic research fellowship from Oxford University, and a strategic communication certificate from the London School of Economics, LSE. He was also a Freedom Forum Fellow and visiting scholar at the School of Journalism, New York University. And in Nigeria, he earned a master's in international law and diplomacy from the University of Jos and a Bachelor of Science BSc in international studies from the Ahmed University, Zaria. He is also a member of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, NIPR. His early education includes advanced level studies in government, economics, and geography at Oyo State College of Arts and Science, OSCAS, in Ile-Ife, Nigeria. And his West African Council, the West African Examination Council WAEC certification from Baptist High School, Jos, with a career that seamlessly blends journalism, governance, and strategic public communication. Dr. Sunday Dari remains a key figure in Nigeria's political and media landscape. That, in a nutshell, says a lot about our special guest for today. So, it gives me pleasure to say you are highly welcome to the Renewed Hope Global Town Hall Conference, Your Excellency.
Thank you very much. And sorry you had to go through that very short profile. Thank you so much. Thank you for this platform. The platform has been a major plank of public communication for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I must admit. And I want to thank you officially for this platform, which you have kept alive during the campaigns and then revved up since this government started 22 months ago. I want to thank you also for, I think this is my second time of coming on this platform, and I thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so very much, sir. It's our pleasure to have you anytime on this program, sir. So we're just going to move on swiftly now. Once again, our main topic for today is advancing public communication and national orientation under the Renewed Hope agenda. So, as usual, I will be the first to fire the first salvo of questions to you before you lead the floor. Before you, I know you're up to the task, sir, because you are an expert in communication, in public communications. We all know that. So, I will do the first honor now before yielding the floor to my co-host, who will then take on participants.
Let me quickly get bulletproof.
Okay, all right, sir. No problem. I can assure you that there won't be any missiles being thrown from anywhere. We'll be sure of that. Thank you so very much, sir. So, usually my question is always centered around the topic for the day. So, let me just start this way. That prior to the advent of this administration, many progressive Nigerians, including yours truly, has been lamenting the fact that previous administration were playing catch-up as far as public discourse on issues of national importance is concerned. The mantle of defending the country fell on patriotic Nigerians like us who are not part of the government to defend and protect the image of our country against false and malicious information being peddled in the public space about Nigeria by unscrupulous elements inside and outside Nigeria. And thank God for this renewed hope administration that has taken the bull by the horns by laying emphasis on information dissemination, which is manifested by the caliber of spokespersons appointed by President Tinubu GCFR, including your very self, sir, who has been excellently doing well in turning the table against the enemies of the state. Therefore, my question to you, sir, is Nigerians are aware of the enormity of the challenge posed by the purveyors of fake and malicious information about Nigeria and its leaders. The question then is, how have you been able to turn the tide? Because we've seen a bit of that now since your assumption of office. So the question is, how have you been able to turn the tide since assuming your exalted office? And to what extent will you say you have advanced public communication and national orientation under this renewed hope administration? That is not just my question, sir.
Thank you very much. That's quite a loaded question. But let me start by also saying that we must salute Mr. President, President Bola Tinubu, on his 73rd birthday.
Yep.
He's the president of our country. He's the visionary of our country, especially of the renewed hope agenda. And we collectively celebrate just not only his birthday today, but what he has done for progressive democracy, the development of our country, the empowerment of our young people, and the fact that he continues to give this country renewed hope that is needed for the journey ahead. Having said that, you actually spoke about the past, the challenges of the past. Let me start by saying governance is a continuum. Every president comes, inherits the liabilities and the assets of the previous government.
Yeah.
And the question arises, how prepared have our previous leaders been? Did they pass through the crucible of the struggle for democracy?
Wow.
Is their feet set in the wet cement of progressive politics? Have they built a broad national coalition across the country? Have they, over the years, proven their mettle as leaders? These are very critical questions.
Yeah.
You can run them as a short analysis through the presidents that have come before. But I think our concern is President Bola Tinubu.
Yeah.
An examination shows that for the first time in a long time, we have a man who is now a president who was prepared for the job from day one.
Yeah.
The collectiveness of his experience, the trajectory of his political journey come together to make sure that he is the man for the moment. Yes, he came in. He did not inherit a perfect country.
Yeah.
Neither did he inherit a perfect economy. He will not solve all our problems, even after 8 years. But he would have left an indelible mark in the sands of time.
Yeah.
And those marks have already started manifesting.
Yeah.
Let me preface that by saying, no matter how sound a policy is, or a project or an initiative, or an agenda for development, if that policy or agenda is devoid of a strategic communication policy and initiative, it will fail.
Yeah.
We've seen best initiatives fail because of lack of public communication, effective strategic communication. And I think that this is a precedent that applies himself not only to data, is a precedent that loves news and information flow. A president that has an inquisitive mind.
Yeah.
A president who has invested his time in consuming media of all sorts. A president who has read books. A president who has also invested in media organizations. But more importantly, he has invested in some of the brightest minds that we have in the media industry today. And yours truly is one of them. My story stretches 27 years back. And I can list so many people. Bayo Nanuga, Babafemi Ojudu, Azu, hardly do you line up about 100 top journalists in the country today that President Bola Tinubu at one time or another in their career has not impacted or supported them.
Wow.
How does this fit into this present dispensation? So you have a president who understands the power of communication, but not just general communication, the power of strategic communication. In a country of 230 million people, that's the scenario, 230 million people. In a sector, in a media sector where you have a multiplicity of avenues of information, the social media is there. There is a glut of information. How do you get your information across to the people you lead? How do you engage them? How do you get the buy-in of people? How do you get the understanding that there is a new leader who wants to deal with the problems that have been left undone? Who is willing to press that button that will bring about the change that is needed? Who is willing to travel the road less traveled? So that brings us to the point. When you look at the team that we have that he has put together, is because he believes you can never have too much information. In the much information we have out there, we're living in a world of fake, in a world of deep fake.
Yeah.
In a world where everybody is now a journalist. The moment you have a smartphone and you have money to buy 1 or 2 gigabytes of data, and you have an account on Facebook anywhere, you can just publish. You can put a picture out there. You can lie. You can fake things.
Yeah.
And then, so is a president that is concerned about communicating accurately, timely, the information about his activities to the people. And you'll have seen in the last 1 year, the deepening of that communication, the strategic nature of that communication, has seen more Nigerians buy into his vision.
Yeah.
Has seen more Nigerians willing to sacrifice for a better future.
Yeah.
Has seen Nigerians censoring themselves to the extent that they are more committed to this country. And I think that that's important. That's one. Two, beyond the media landscape, I think the greatest spokesperson for this administration is President Bola Tinubu, GCFR, a great communicator himself, a very strategic thinker, and is able to get out his message. We parrot what he says, but beyond that, we have put ourselves to the task of digging deep, of coming up with very strategic communication efforts, looking at target groups, getting data from agencies, ministries, and other people, and presenting them in a factual way to the Nigerian people. And I think that because we've kept that very steady, not holding back, we have been able to put out that information. Nigerians don't have to agree with everything we put out there, but the onus is on this government to put out what is being done in terms of policies so that Nigerians can know how to engage. And I dare say this is a president who in 22 months, you can put it down, check what other presidents have done in 22 months, carrying out reforms in 13 key areas. Less than 18 months, we started to see the impact, positive impact of those reforms.
Yeah.
And I think that we're at the point in which that information machinery will have at its center the public and the Nigerian citizenry.
Oh, thank you so very much for that deep expose of what's the situation is at the moment. Because you in my preamble earlier on, you must have heard me said that with previous administration, they were more or less like we were more or less like playing catch up with, because all the unscrupulous elements of social media have been the one leading the narratives while we play catch up. Well, since the advent of this administration, I recall again when the president was trying to put his cabinet in place. You see, there was some kind of disquiet in certain areas, saying how come he has so many spokespersons, blah 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 blah. But then within the space of 12 months to 18 months, we are beginning to see why, just like you said, that this is a president who believes in strategic information dissemination.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we are beginning to see now why he has to have that many spokesperson, everybody with their own area of specialization, and everybody has been doing so well, so much so now that even for those of us who are the outsiders, are trying to polish the image of the country. We have less and less and less to do now because people are, hearing more from the government, and that is one of the reasons why you are here with us. And for one thing, I just need to commend you for one thing, sir, because I observed that you are speaking to Nigerians across the globe from your car now, which suggests to me that you're probably on your way to another engagement.
With the Senate president, with the Senate majority leader, with the deputy Senate president, we function. But this is so critical that I can't miss it for anything.
Thank you so very much, sir. Because I'm just going to add to it that it says a lot about the receptive.
It's a 24-hour. It's a 24-hour job.
Yes.
That's it. Public engagement is a 24-hour job.
Yeah, a majority of our leaders now, with the crop of leaders that we have now, has displayed the same thing. Whenever we call on knock on your doors, you're always there. Even when you were, as you are now, in the midst of another engagement, they'll say, okay, if it's about speaking to Nigerians, yeah, we're up to the task, and you just displayed that today again now. Thank you so very much, sir. And I just want you to understand that we really do appreciate the sacrifice that you leaders make to at least get because it's like you are hell bent on dragging the country, kicking and screaming into the 21st century. That no matter what, this country must be better. So for that, we remain grateful to you guys, sir. Thank you ever so much. So let me just yield the floor now to my one of my co-hosts, Honorable Udeme Ukpe. You have the floor now. You take the first two questions. Then our special guest will then answer that. Then we'll move on from there. Thank you so much. Honorable Udeme, you have the floor now.
Thank you. Thank you so much, my chief host, Ambassador J.K. Bola. I especially want to thank our highly VVIP special guest. Thank you so much, sir, for gracing our global virtual town. Dr. Sunday Dare. Thank you so much, sir, for coming around. Really appreciate your presence, even when you've taken this time out, to speak with us. Thank you so much, sir. We really appreciate this, Your Excellency. I will be taking the questions now. So please, if you want to ask your questions to our special guest, please kindly limit your questions to 1 minute so that we can have other participants to also ask their questions. I have Jamil Aziz. Jamil Aziz, can we please unmute Jamil Aziz so that you can ask your question now? Thank you.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Yeah,
good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good afternoon. Renew Hope, Uncle Adebola. Good afternoon, all your team. And a special greeting to our honorable former minister and today presidential spokesperson, Honorable Sunday Dare, or Dr. Sunday Dare, rather. Please, my question is this. Sir, Dr. Sunday Dare, you gave an explainer in narrative about skilled appointment of Mr. President in the security on defense or security architecture. You gave an explainer that was very instructive and actually intimate people that want to know. But I think we have not been able to douse the tension of that narrative, and it's being seriously politicized, running to 2027 that the appointment of Mr. President generally, not even minister alone now, is concentrated in southwestern Nigeria. If you can do more of bringing out the population of people that are appointed in different things, and so that people can see who even have more among the regions across board? I think that is a question I want to have. You've been doing so wonderfully well, but we need a tracker that will always give us that's of yours.
Thank you.
Be as
Thank you.
so we need sir.
All right, is it just okay? Are we taking another question?
I will be taking another question, sir. I have Said. Admin, can you please unmute Said, please, so that we can now hand over to our special guest. Said, you have the floor now.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you loud and
Okay,
clear.
good afternoon. Thank you, my Dr. Sunday. Really appreciate this. This is a very good one. My question, which I've actually typed initially, I just want to ask a simple question. One thing I've seen about Nigeria as a country is that what narrative needs to be followed needs to be out there. So I want to know how well or how equipped is the government using your portfolio and your good office to disseminate every activity to the whole public in all areas, because we've seen what is happening with every small story. There is always a coloration to it by every area of Nigeria. But communication would help us to get to many people. What is the government or your great area of office doing with regards to that? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sahib, for that question. Before I hand over to you, sir, Your Excellency, I just want to ask a quick question myself. Permit me, sir, if you don't, for these. And my question is, what is the government doing to curtail free speech turning into hate speech? Because we've seen so many attacks, which I reside in the United Kingdom. Sometimes some of the hate speech that is being poured out there could be classed as terrorism or a terrorist act. What is the government doing to ensure that these there's that visible line, so that people don't cross that line to say, right, it's free speech, but it's hate speech targeted at the government? Thank you so much, sir.
I have three questions to respond to. And let me start with the very first one. Or let me take the one that has to do with the data and the fact sheet that we put out for the security. And we did that because we saw how it had been politicized. And we felt that the best way to fight fallacious information is to dig up the facts and put those facts in the public space. So we looked at about 27 security and parasecurity agencies, and we presented where each of the appointees or career officers came from. And it turned out that it was based on that fact sheet. It was very clear that the president had not favored the Southwest over other regions. We saw the region that had the highest, and that was an appreciation. And I think that was in November last year. And from then on, we have deliberately mined data to show Nigerians that this is a government that is transparent and will be unafraid to admit certain developments or data that do not favor us, but also will be bold enough to put data that favors us, that is factual, in the public domain. I speak to about 6 years ago when we had a 30%, 40% reduction in food prices. And people said it was false until we had Punch newspaper do a cover. Vanguard newspaper did a cover. BBC did a story. But before they did their stories, I did a tabular presentation listing the items. I went to 2 big markets, one of the biggest markets in the north, bordering 5 countries. And we came out with the fact. We went to petrol stations. We saw a drop in PMS by 15%, from 1,200 to 1,000 to 950. And we presented this. collectively by the Presidential Communications Team, the PCT. And one of the tweets I did showing a tabular presentation that was factual, where I called it Tinubunomics. We had about 1.something million people on it. But the fact that other credible sources beyond the government communication machinery came out. So we've seen that when a government is upfront, when a government is able to put facts in the public space, when a government is able to engage with the people, then you are able to get the support that you need and the understanding you need to move forward. Now, we'll continue to do that as well as we can. The third question, which is your question, I'll come to the very first question. Free speech, hate speech. I think we have enough provisions in our laws. What has happened is that we've not explored those provisions. The Nigerian Constitution, 1999, 1979, later 1999 as amended, is a trove of information in terms of the rights of citizens. But the question is, how many of us have really taken time? You look at the Freedom of Information Act, for instance. Every citizen can ask for information by applying to the Ministry of Justice. It might take time, but you will get it. Do we exercise that right? Now, when it comes to free speech and hate speech, even from the Police Act, the laws of the Constitution we have has laws that are binding. I can't give you specific instances, but I know that in cases where people have gone to court to challenge beyond libel, people have been picked up. Where the state apparatus, security apparatus have seen people speak around terrorism, become a threat to the security of the state, they've been picked up. This has been, has not been too consistent. It's also because of the society we have. But I'm telling you that anyone that promotes terrorism, anyone that tries to promote hate speech, either on social media, Facebook, Twitter, we've seen other countries, people are being jailed. They're being fined millions of dollars. And in Nigeria cannot be any different. And I can assure you, the laws are there. We just need to activate them. And of course, Nigerians must apply themselves to that law, those laws, and be willing to go the path of the law to be able to get. But the state apparatus are up to task and they're watching. The first question is what I don't remember very quickly. I think it was a commendation. Can you remind me the first question?
I think he was talking about excuse me, sorry. I think he was talking about the appointments, and he was talking about how best to ensure that the regions in Nigeria are represented in terms of appointments. I think that's what the question was.
Very important. I think that for the Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration, merit counts a lot. We also know that we have federal character, but I think merit counts a lot. That's one. Two, I think when these appointments are made, the president who is a statesman, the president who has built coalitions across the country over the decades, the president whose victory at the polls wouldn't have been possible without the votes from the north, from the south, from all the 6 geopolitical zones, understands very clearly the importance of balance when it comes to appointments. We cannot have equal appointments across board. But like I did say, we're still looking at over 1,000 plus, almost 2,000 appointments yet to be made. We're looking at an administration still at the midpoint of 2 years. Another 2 years come, appointments will be made. A second time of 4 years come, another appointment will be made. Everyone cannot get their appointment within the first or second year. Just yesterday, appointments were made. Over 27 or 32 appointments were made. So we must trust this president. We must also understand that certain appointments cannot be made until the current person who is in that position is able to finish his tenure. So it's a continuous process. And I urge Nigerians to just be patient with Mr. President. It will balance out eventually. Of course, it won't be exact, but we will see that every Nigerian from every part of the country will get a chance
to participate in this government.
Thank you so much, sir, for those very, very succinct and concise responses to those questions, especially to my question. Thank you so much, sir, for them. I will now hand over to my chief host, Ambassador J.K. Adebola. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much, Honorable Udeme, and thank you again, once again, to our special guest. We'll just move on swiftly because I don't want us to go beyond the 2 hours allotted for this program. And we've spent 52 minutes already, so we've got only 1 hour, 8 minutes to go, and we've got loads of hands up. So I will be yielding the floor again to Honorable Jacob Ogushe. You have you call 2 answers, two participants to ask their questions, and a special guest to answer. However, we need to reiterate to our participants that they have only 1 minute to say what they have to say. Firstly, we want to know where you're calling from, what your name is. Then you go straight to your question, and so that our special guest will be able to answer it. Thank you so very much. So, Honorable Jacob Ogushe, you have the floor now.
Thank you, sir. My chief host, Barrister J.K. Adebola. Thank you so much for the time and for the opportunity again today. Again, let me quickly welcome our guest today, and Dr. Sunday Dare, the Special Advisor to on Media and Public Communication to the President. We thank you for your time, sir. Before I go to the audience, I want to ask. Is it question now or observation? Sir, I think I observed the system where the present administration uses a conventional platform like newspaper to disseminate information instead of using social media more, where we can get the Gen Z, the people that need to know what the president is doing more. So what is the government is doing, sir, to ensure that the people that need that information more, most especially the younger ones, the Gen Zs, have better information on what is going around through using of social media, not just the major one as well, not just Facebook and Twitter. People, my children will not go on both one. They will actually go on what's it called, the other platforms. I think I don't know, I've forgotten them now. I think we need to go deeper to TikTok and to one where we can see the people we actually needed to speak to. So that's my question. That's why, sir. I can now quickly move forward now to the audience. Please know that you have 1 minute to ask your question and wrap it up quickly. I will go to Max Nutri. Max Nutri, I hope you can unmute now, please. Max Nutri, while Comrade Ajay Tomobi, Comrade David is getting ready. Max Nutri, please.
Sir, I greet the guest speaker. My question, I'm from Busari Ablafis from Obumasho in Oyo State. My question is that I want to ask the guests, what are the things being put in place by the government in order to orientate people to differentiate between the fake news and the real news? But that thing has been causing a lot of problems. Most of the news now, maybe what is happening in Rivers State, about the state of emergency, what is happening in Lagos State. Most of the news there are many types of news outside there that we don't know the real among them. My second question now is that what are the things being done by the government to bring the politics back to the grassroots, closer to the people through communication? Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Max Nutri. I think that's a product anyway, so you pay for the advert.
Yes.
So let me go to
Let me take those two questions first, because they're important and they're interlinked.
Yes, sir.
Let me take your question first. The media space is stratified. And you're dealing with a media space that is heavily democratized. Unfortunately, it is one of the most unregulated space that we have today.
Yeah.
And we have to come to terms with that. That is, that it's an unregulated space. There's a glut of information there. And then people suffer from selective auditioning or, selective set that stage. What? Well, we've looked at short information. When people come for information, is interested in that unique information about cost of living, about policies on education, and other policies on health. So you can get that information from newspapers. You can get that information from the transistor radio. You can get that information from Facebook, if he has a Facebook account. You can get that information from the non-traditional media. You have the traditional media versus the non-traditional. When I talk about stratification, you have the legacy media, which is the newspapers, the NTA, the TVCs, and all the, that's legacy media, where you have the gatekeepers, you have the editors, you have the core journalists who, fast check, who investigate. Then you have the social media, where everybody is a journalist. Everybody can post an information. And then you have the non-traditional media, which is our community leaders, our religious leaders, some of our big names and big names in different sectors. Now, this administration's public engagement or communication interfaces with all of these forms of media engagement. But we're careful also in deciding the medium and the individuals that we deal with. Not to talk about the handles that we have, the social media handles that we have, the various platforms that we have. I dare say there are quite a number of young people. There's a digital media arm of the public communication, with a lot of young people. There's a print media, there's a broadcast media. And we're fully, when you look at it, you have the at official Ahmed, you have the presidency. I can talk about several handles on Twitter, on Facebook, where you can get timely information about what the president is doing. You also get it in the newspapers. You also get it on television. So we're engaging on all platforms in a deliberate way, more so to reach the Gen Z or the younger generation. And I think that to a large extent, it also boils down to what the people or individuals want. What information are you looking for? Where are you looking for the information? And it's going to be extremely difficult to control fake news or deep fake. The only antidote for it right now is the ability to make sure that government is out there in a timely fashion, providing comprehensive information on policies and developments so that people are not second guessing. You are leading the narrative. You are being proactive in the public engagement that you have. You are speaking to the right constituents and constituencies. You are getting those in charge of key segments of our economy or even the security, stepping up to the plate to speak directly to the people in an engaging manner. That's the only antidote against fake news. When we're living in an era of artificial intelligence now. So we move from fake news to deep fake, then artificial intelligence comes. They can situate you in a place where you are not. They can put words in your mouth. Everything, perfect. Yet it's all deep fake. So I think that governments across the world are challenged. And that's why the public communication of every government or any government must be top-notch. And when you look at the team we have now, it's a team. It's a presidential communication team. It's a team that is working coherently together, but also making sure that we touch all the bases, engaging on all relevant platforms, producing our own journalistic and information materials, both on social media, pushing them in a viral manner, but also coming out on Twitter Space, on spaces like we have now. And you've seen quite a number of top government functionaries also come out to speak to the policies of the federal government. And I think that's the way it's going to be. Ultimately, people will have to choose what kind of information they consume. They will have to choose how they apply themselves to the information available. But this government under President Bola Tinubu is committed to a public communication engagement that is factual, that is timely, that is comprehensive, and that people can use to advance their career, to benefit from the myriad of government programs that are out there, and also to help move this country forward.
Thank you, sir.
The part I didn't answer is how do we also choose good leaders? And you see, there's a link there. We also know that when certain information is out there, you're able to choose which one to consume. For instance, there are some websites I don't ever consume their information because over time I've seen that they peddle lies. Yeah. So when politicians also come to you, all politics is local. You know them by name. You know their pedigree. It's left to you when it comes to elections. You study every politician. You investigate them. And then you make that determination. Remember, it's you that go out to vote there. It's not the federal government that votes for you. But I know also INEC has a voter education and all of that. An awareness that is critical is fundamental to the protection of democratic rights. That's what I'll say on that.
Thank you so much, sir, for the detailed answers, sir. Yeah, let me quickly go back to the audience. Comrade David Ajetumobi, are you there, please?
Yes.
Okay, please go ahead, please. You have just 1 minute, please. 1 minute, please.
Okay. We thank our chief guest, Dr. Sunday Dari. You have done very well. We admire you. Well, my questions and my advice is this. One, in the ongoing struggle for multipolar world and the de-dollarization of the economy that many nations are pursuing to improve their economy for better services and promote to their people, what are the challenges that prevent the present government from joining BRICS as full member? As members of this bloc are witnessing some remarkable positive impacts in their economy. One. Second, to our chief guest, we heard that President signed about 147 billion, 887 million to complete the Ilorin-Ogbomoso something road. Is there any time frame, or will this another go to be another abandoned project? Because there wasn't much time frame. Is it starting now? Because it was awarded to JRB Construction. Is it going to be part of a abandoned project at last, or is there any time frame? Then my thought something is about Nigeria Constitution. It's one of the critical aspects to sustain our democracy. We are clamoring, even with the president during our anti-military struggle and June 12 struggle, we are clamoring for a fairly democratic constitution through Sovereign National Conference before the 1999 constitution was cooked up for us by the army. But many of us see this 1999 constitution as the extension of Decree 24 of 1999 because it's scheduled to that decree of Decree 24 of 1999.
We have 1 minute. We have 1 minute, please. 1 minute, please.
Okay, yes, I have to round up. So what I said that we employ the current government to please work on that. Just like what happened.
Thank you, sir. Maybe before our guests respond to Mr. Comrade David Ajetumobi, I will want to let you know that we on every Saturday like this, we have different topic for different guests. Today we are talking about communication. We are not talking about economy. We are not talking about infrastructure. We are talking about communication. And I will want every other person to please limit your question to that of to our topic of the day. So we are talking today about communication. I mean, that is where I think all of us should please limit ourselves to. Honestly, the question that have been asked by our comrade, it doesn't have anything to do with our.
Let me also communicate.
I think, honestly, thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Let me also communicate because it's also part of. It's an opportunity to also communicate what President Bola Tinubu is doing. Especially when it comes to BRICS. You just don't jump into any organization without quite a deep understanding about the ethos of the organization. You also benchmark that with other organizations that you belong, United Nations, the African Union, the ECOWAS, and all of that. You are going to benchmark that with BRICS. So we've had, under this president, efforts in the last 2 years, or even starting before he came in as president, looking at BRICS, attending most of the meetings in BRICS. And we've seen that as at December, Nigeria has finally become an associate member. I think it's a 2-3 stage process. So I think there's progress to that extent. We have to be careful before we jump in. We have to make sure that the economic agenda and interest that BRICS pursue coincides with that of our foreign policy and will be beneficial to Nigeria as an independent entity. That's that. The second one has to do with the Ogbomoso Railroad. It's not an abandoned project. Just 4 weeks ago, the president and council approved a new contractor, approved the money for it, and it's going to be between 8 to 12 months. The Ogbomoso Ilorin Road has a lifespan of over 20 years, beginning from the Obasanjo era, abandoned by successive governments, picked up by the APC government to the extent that it's now about 75% complete. And just when it was becoming totally impossible, President Tinubu came to the rescue with the approval in council. So it's one of the several roads, 36 roads that will be accelerated in completion, and we're looking at 12 months. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So maybe before I go back to my chief host, let me quickly call in Honorable Buki or Kangbe to please come up, please, and ask your question, ma'am. Honorable Buki.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Jacob. Thank you very much, my leaders in the House. My name is Honorable Buki Okangbe, the National Coordinator of the Progressive Up. I'm always here, so I'm happy to be here today. My question, I have 2 questions.
Where are you calling from, madam? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Abuja.
Thank you.
Thank you, Uncle. My first question is our leader, the Honorable Minister of Sport, Honorable Minister of Sport, now essay to the President, did mention that the various media team that are sending information, I want to know which of this media team is sending information to the voters. We as politicians, we know who the voters are, we know where the voters are, and between me and the people listening, we know the voters are not on TikTok, the voters, most of them are not on Twitter, and most of them are not even on Facebook. On that fateful morning, the people we used to see is our old mothers and fathers walking with their walking stick to the polling units to vote. Most of these people don't even know what is happening in Abuja. So how can we, the Renewed Hope team, make a difference with this administration, not like other ones? We will have a specific media team that reach out to the various villages in the Southwest, in Southeast, in South, directly to the voters. Second, I want to talk about appointment. I don't know, Honorable Jacob, if I can just go in there. There are so many people that have like 2-3 different appointments. 2-3 different appointments in this dispensation. And there are so many people that worked and are still working that don't have even one. So I don't know. I mean, Mr. President, our leader, happy birthday to him. We don't know, maybe he knows better. But I want Honorable Uncle Sonny to say something about that. Why would people be having 2-3 different appointments and some other people that have the capacity and they are working don't have appointments? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Those are 2 very valid and important questions. And if you permit me, I want to respond very quickly.
Yes, sir. Where is that?
Yeah, let me take the last one. What you talked about people having multiple appointments, my response is that is just an exception. It's not the rule. And I'm sure when you look at it, if there are any, there will just be a few. And there's no way you will be able to get 2 letters of appointment. So some of these instances have been corrected. But please note, it is just an exception. You always have an exception. You always have exceptions when this happens. Maybe we've seen people bearing 2 or 3 people bearing the same name. That's it. So when you hear 2 names, you might think it's the same person. But again, it's an exception. And where that has been found, the Office of the Secretary of the Federation, SGF, has moved quickly through the Cabinet Office to make sure that is corrected. Like I said previously, there are over 1,000 plus appointments still to be made. And I think that people who have worked for the party, people who desire to work for this country, should just wait. Mr. President will make more appointments as time goes on. Sometimes it's a function of time, it's a function of resources, but also the span of the administration is 4 years in the first instance, and another 4 years. So these opportunities will continue to reel out. And I must say that the president has not forgotten the APC members. The president has not forgotten those that work for him, but also he's now a Nigerian president, not just an APC leader, but the leader of our country. And he will pick talents from across the length of this country, irrespective of their age, irrespective of their religious inclination or their ethnicity. And I think we must trust this president. He's hugely detribalized. He's a statesman. He's a nationalist. And he knows that he will bring people on board. Now, the first question, let me start. INEC has a voter enlightenment unit, public enlightenment unit, which is huge, with enough resources. And they must deploy. Beyond INEC, you also have state electoral commissions. They also have budgets. They have a responsibility. The federal government only comes in to provide certain clarifications. But INEC is an institution that is clearly heavily funded, that has the relevant departments and units to take care of voter education and public enlightenment. Now, let me speak about the federal government. How do the ordinary voters can also get their whatever? As we speak, we have the Renewed Hope Community Radio, where we have 5 community radio stations from every single state and 5 from Abuja, making a total of 185 radio stations under the Renewed Hope Community Radio engagement. The pilot phase started about 2 weeks ago with about 60 radio stations, 10 from each geopolitical zone. And what you get here is content about government policies and programs, various agencies, ministries, and departments. This content, they're sent out on a daily basis as news items. They are podcasts that are recorded and are delivered in Hausa, in English, in Yoruba. The news items are delivered in 5 different languages across the country on radio, and you know the power of the radio. So when you talk about our old people, the voters in the villages, yeah, they may not have a Facebook account, but they can listen to the radio. They can hear this news in Yoruba, in Hausa, and other languages. So that has started already. Beyond that, we see engagements on other huge media platforms able to reach the news and crannies of this country. Now, we did a small survey and we looked at how do people get their information. For the young population, it's clear 68% of them get their information from the social media. But we dug deeper to say, okay, let's look at the North. Let's look at the Southwest. In the North, we found out that 61% of the young people get their information from TikTok. So we started putting a lot of information on TikTok. We looked at newspaper versus radio and television. In the North, for instance, I'm just using the North as a case study. We found out that radio is king in the North. In the Southwest, in spite of the level of education that is much higher, we found out that people still listen to radio, especially vernacular radio. And that's why you find a huge number of radio stations in the Southwest and in the North, in fact, all over the country. So we have content on these radio stations delivered in 7 different languages. And on the average, you can reach 45 million radio listeners in Nigeria on a daily basis. So the INEC has a responsibility. The government is alive to its work. It's not going to be easy to just pick a particular media team to work on voter education. No, that's for INEC to do. But at the level of the presidential communication team, we're exploring all avenues, the social media platforms, the Facebook, for instance. The number of Nigerians who get their information, who engage on Facebook, is much higher than those you find on X, on Twitter or X, as they call it now. You'll be amazed. In fact, of all the social media platforms, Facebook comes first. Then you have TikTok. So if you have some critical information to put out there, you have to play on Facebook. You have to place on TikTok. You have to play clearly on X. But also you must play big on the radio stations using various different languages to be able to engage. And this is not a one-shot, two-shot thing. It must be a daily offering, bringing information to them in a timely fashion, breaking it down in capsules so that they understand it, providing avenues and forums for them to engage in a feedback process. And that's what we've been about, to be able to communicate the reforms of Mr. President in the last 2 years, to be able to bring forth the impact of these programs and reforms, but also to explain to Nigerians how you can apply yourself to these opportunities. We find that most Nigerians just know about the policy, but are unclear about how they can apply themselves. You look at the Minister of Interior, for instance. The level of engagement, the explanation about the new digital processes being introduced, the number of days you can stay, that information is out there, and you have the people in charge to do it. You look at the recent Global Health Fellows from the Ministry of Health, for instance. We have 774 Global Health Fellows. Because they have a robust communication machinery, they are able to get that information to all our youth. And those that applied through the process and were successful eventually got to be fellows. And then they were blessed with the president offering them automatic employment at the end of their one-year fellowship. So when you talk about public communication, it's a two-way street. The government provides that information. The citizenry must engage and apply itself to the opportunities available. And that's the way it works. It's a two-way street.
Thank you, sir, for your time on this on this explanation. But sir, before I let you go, sir, I just want to make sure that we balance the information from here. I just want to call one woman again before you go, sir. Kairat Animashan Ajiboye. I will love you to ask a question before I hand over back to my chief host. Thank you. You are on now, please.
Thank you very much. My honorable, my brother, you've been working so hard. I just want to say that I want to wish Mr. President a happy birthday, and then to encourage Mr. President and his team to keep moving on.
Thank you.
Am from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia as I speak. I came in from Lagos last week, and I experienced something. So my experience is this. I found out, like, I have elders in Ibadan asking me to buy them rice from Lagos because they heard information that rice in Lagos is cheaper than in Ibadan, which was a funny experience, right? But what I'm saying in essence is that in my community in First Sack Town too, they talked about fuel. My community members are saying, oh, fuel is the quality of fuel, gas, is better in this gas station and cheaper than the other gas stations. So I'm thinking that hope is being renewed by this administration.
Yeah.
Because people are beginning to feel some positive vibes that is going to get better. Tomorrow is going to be better. We, however, need to do more. Communication is key. And I have heard you, and I don't envy all that you do. You do a lot of work. 24 hours on the job, that's a lot. We may need to employ, or we may need to encourage local champions. Local champions. People that will, on their own, within their locality, go around and find out. Because if people feel the presence of government, they feel that their lives are getting better, they can buy things at a cheaper rate. The economic value is better. they'll feel more comfortable to communicate and share the information with other people positively. So I'm saying that in drilling down the cost of day-to-day items, communication can help by encouraging and letting people know that, you know what, you can get your rice. These guys are selling good quality rice, for example, in Festac by 7th Avenue, better than those that are selling it in Mile 2. I mean, I'm just trying to give an example. But we have to encourage people who will believe that things are actually getting better because they can feel it. My siblings will come and tell me, don't buy gas there, oh, buy from this other gas station because your car is, So I'm saying that we are feeling the hope. I'm encouraging you. I'm thanking you for your brilliance and intelligence in ensuring that people get to know what Mr. President, at the strategic level, yes, you guys are working hard. Then we have to find another way to strategically drill down this to the local people so that they can feel it. And then it's going to translate to other things. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I just want to encourage you and tell you that good job and we can do better. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think that yours is a commendation, but you also struck some chords. When you talk about, prices, differentials in Festac and Ibadan, you must thank Mr. President for bringing alive the market forces, allowing market forces to determine prices. In the 21st century economy, in the capitalist economy, that's what you get. So when you see the removal of 2 subsidies, the fuel subsidy on PMS, the subsidy in the Forex market, and allowing the market forces to take place, to determine prices. That's what you get. Even in Atlanta, Georgia, where you are, the PMS has been sold. They sell 3 categories, some for $3.29, some for $2.50, some for $1.95. And you know what it means? If you buy the cheapest, you know that it's going to burn fast. There's also the element of transport cost. When you buy rice from Lagos, you take it to Ibadan, there's going to be some kind of differentials in prices. But we have an economy, you have a president who is working hard to make sure that the microeconomics of our economy is such that it's in tune with 21st century economy, where there are options for consumers, also because of market forces, the interplay of market forces. We have seen that PMS prices have come down. People can buy from different, dependent. You see 1,000 to 100, you see 950. We've had as low as 860.
Yes.
And you can buy from anywhere. So people do have options. And I think that you look at the Naira firming up right now, we've been as low as 1,450. The macroeconomics, the willing buyer, willing seller that we know about is pervading most of is a fundamental part of the economic reform of Mr. President. And I think Nigerians will continue to enjoy the benefit of it. Is the president committed to making sure that we have a $1 trillion economy? And unless you have market reforms like we have now, the reform of the oil sector, the reform in the education sector, reform in the health sector, reform in the aviation sector, these reforms must come in lockstep. And we have a president who has been courageous enough to start that process. And I think Nigerians will be the ultimate beneficiary.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much, sir, for that elaborate responses to those questions. Let me now move swiftly to the next co-host. Let me call on Honorable. Just give me a second. I'm just trying to see who is the best person to call. Let me call on Honorable Tosi Olayinka. You will take, because now we've got only 34 minutes to go, because like I said, we always like to keep our conference strictly to the 2 hours that we said we're going to use, so that we don't belabor especially today now when our special guest is now attending this program from his car on his way to another event. So on the 2 hour on the clock, on the 2 hours, we'll be stopping this program. So please make sure that your question is asked within 1 minute. So Honorable Tosola, you'll be taking the next 3 questions then our special guest will be answering the questions. Thank you so very much. Honorable Tosola, you guys have the floor now. Thank you.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, everybody, depending on where you're joining from. Thank you very much, sir, our chief host, Honorable Ambassador J.K. Adebola, for this opportunity. I also want to use this opportunity to welcome our special guest, distinguished Right Honorable Sunday Dare. It's been lovely to have you on this platform, sir. I would like to call on our participants to bring forward their questions or submissions. The first person I'm going to call now is Osmond Ogwai. Osmond Ogwai, please get ready, Osmond. And also, I'll be calling on Mrs. Abibat Bankole. And after that, I'll be calling on KD Adebayo. So, Osmond Ogwai, you have the floor now. Thank you. Can we please help unmute Osmond Ogwai? Probably is having problem with his network at the moment. We will move forward to KD Adebayo. Please, admin, can you please help meet KD Adebayo?
Yes, thank you. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening. You have the floor now.
Thank you. First of all, let me say happy birthday to Mr. President. We wish him long life and prosperity. And I want to appreciate the host and organizers of this event. This is my first time participation. Since we want to limit ourselves to information.
Where are you calling from, sir? Where are you calling from, sir?
From Ilorin, sir. A practicing lawyer from Ilorin. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. First of all, I want to comment actually on the NTA because we are talking about dissemination of information. We all agree, like somebody like me, I'm in my early 40s, so I grew up listening to NTA. But in recent times, I observed that maybe the equipment of NTA stations, they are archaic and not as clearer as we want. For instance, if you tune to private TV stations, you will see that they are very clearer. Maybe they are making use of better equipment. And there is an adage in Yoruba that says, where you are hungry and your friend fails to cook, of course, you'll be left to take your enemy's food, even if it is poison. So you will agree with me that most of these private TV stations, they disseminate fake news, they mislead the public. But when you tune to NTA, at times you just feel angry, watching news with I don't know how to put it. So I just want to implore the presidential information team, please supply NTA with better equipment so that people like us, I'm also part of Gen Z, but I refuse to, play along with them, so that people like us know where to get better information. Then secondly, it's about okay, let me limit myself to that. Thank you for having me. Good afternoon, everyone.
All right, thank you very much, sir, for that observation. I would like to call on Mrs. Abibat Bankole. Do we have Mrs. Abibat Bankole there?
Yes, I'm here. Good evening, everybody. Good evening.
You have the floor now.
Yes, my question is a two-pronged question. An earlier speaker, one of my sisters earlier spoke about having local champions. And my question to the Honorable is this. We have some persons who are progressives and who have been working for Mr. President, even without being appointed, in disseminating correct information via several social media platforms. We have persons like Pastor Okeze on Twitter. We had Woye before his appointment and even till after his appointment. We have so many persons who have been there and who are still there helping to disseminate positive and correct information about the present-day government. How much is your office doing, sir, to integrate these persons into your plans so that they will feel that they are being appreciated, and they will also get first-hand correct information from your office to disseminate to the public. That's the first leg. The second leg of my question, sir, is how much is your office doing to curb the activities of known fake news purveyors through the use of, the security operatives and the cybercrime lords? There are some, some handles we know on social media that are actually always with false narratives, with fake news about this government, and it seems nobody is doing anything to curb them. So I believe your office, working hand in hand with the police, with the DSS, can, curb the activities of these fake news purveyors and make the, the news space, the media space, a safer one for all of us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Okay, go on, sir.
Let me take those two questions, if that's okay.
All right, sir. That's fine, sir.
Yeah, the first one is going to be simple. I can tell you for a fact that the president is committed to making sure that NTA, in terms of equipment and machinery, is revamped, especially under the proactive leadership of the Honorable Minister of Information, Madam Idris Malaga. And I can tell you that he's been able to get the president to sign on to an immediate re-equipping with modern production equipment of not just NTA, but all the federal government information agencies, from the NTA to the FRCN to Voice of Nigeria, even to NAN. So when you look at the budget in 2025, when you look at it very carefully, you can see the approval by Mr. President. I don't know the exact amount, but the information ministry now has that financial strength to begin that process. So very soon, you will see an NTA at par with the other TV stations in terms of quality, technologically, but also in terms of the editorial quality as it is now is very good. But all of that will come together. So that's a response to the first question. The second question, yes. You say, what are we doing to build these people in? In the first place, they are integral part of our media and public communication. And that's why very often you see that they get the information first and very factual. In what they tweet and what they share, you see a lot of data. And you see that they're hardly different from even what we put out from the presidency. And that suggests very strongly that we are working together. There's also the PBAT, which is being supervised by Segun Dada. The PBAT office has about 42 young APC progressives, but they've built a network of about 320 APC young people across the country who in the last 2 years have been working part-time, some of them in Abuja full-time. And of course, not everybody can get an appointment at this point, but we've seen the power of their narratives. We've seen how they have turned complicated policies into infographics that has been shared. The PBAT works very closely with the presidential communication team. And there are a couple of other layers that we have out there that I'm not at liberty to mention. And the work of public communication is not just restricted. You have to bring on board party progressives. You have to bring on board friendly media. You have to disseminate as broadly and as widely as possible. But also, we have also seen that the over concentration on just the social media and Twitter alone isolates a large population of people that you can find listening to radio over the decades. And there's a lot of emphasis on radio engagement, working with community radio stations, delivering in 5 different language bases, pushing the narrative of transforming the renewed hope agenda and the developments that come with it. So I agree with you. We will continue to broaden other platforms, but also those that you have mentioned, there are quite a number of them. I didn't mention them deliberately, but you know them and you find them there. And you see that we're both singing from the same hymn book. Educating Nigerians, informing them, but also creating platforms for engagement.
And
I think
technical
that's,
with the special
like I said, it's a two-way street.
I will
The
get
citizen
our
engagement
engineers to look into that. Then while we move
from the government.
and
I think that once we do
to get it all sorted out. Thank you so very much for your patience.
We can
it appears that the because our special guest is on the move, it seems to be affecting the network at the moment. So maybe maybe that's the reason why he's been off at the moment now. So I'm just going to bring back my co-host now, Honorable Tosin Olayinka, to come back on and continue where he stopped. I think what we just need to do now is to call on our participants to ask their questions. We will take note of all of those, and whilst we are waiting for our special guest to come back on, we'll take note of those questions and we will throw it back at him as soon as he comes into that. He will then provide answers to those. So, Honorable Tosin, you can have the floor now. Please go. I think you've taken two or either one or two questions now. So complete it now and take notes so that we'll all pass it on to our special guest when it comes. So, Honorable Tosin, you have the floor now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, sir, our chief host. Yeah, I would like to call on Mr. Felix Ajayi now. Admin, can you please help meet Mr. Felix Ajayi?
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Thank you very much. What I was going to tell, because I will not call him Honorable whatever, I'll call Mr. Sonidari, my brother. I've enjoyed him so much, and I wanted to plead with him that he's going to be re-invited. I'm not into your itinerary, but because he has so much to give to Nigerians, so surely I'm going to plead with Honorable Adebola. The gentleman is loaded, so we need to invite him. He's on the move. He has a lot to offer. So I want to thank him. He has answered most of the things I wanted to ask. The only addition or addendum which people have asked is that he said we cannot get everybody appointed. We still have about 1,000 plus appointments, but it should, please, you have to, because I've sent him an email, but restate his commitment. There is somebody he is going to tell that we set on this platform that Felix Adewale Ajayi, I read the list of the appointment that they gave yesterday to APC chairman in Nigeria. We have APC in diaspora. So, and we have committed people. Our people, please hear this. Our people are asking us, how come we are not part of this government? Some of us want to be part. So it's a person. I'm not talking about anybody. I, Felix Adewale Ajayi. People are asking me, why am I not in Tinubu's government presently? Because I wanted to be. And that is it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. That is quite noted, and I'm sure you will get your feedback at the appropriate time. On this note, I would like to yield the floor back to our chief host, Ambassador J.K. Adebola. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Honorable Tosin Olayinka, for that. Again, I would just wish to apologize to our participants because sometimes, the network issue rears its ugly head once in a while, and we seem to be experiencing that now. And I think it is to be expected because our special guest joins this conference whilst he's on the move, which again, you see, like I said at the beginning, says a lot about the kind of crop of leaders we have now. It's part of their very tight schedules. They still try to squeeze a bit of a time to come and spend with Nigerians across the world, to let the whole world know what this government is doing. So for me, I think this is the first time we are experiencing this, because we have been doing this program now since when President Buhari has been there. This is the first time we have people in government who has been speaking to us. I think he's about the second or the third special guest that joined the conference while they move from one event to the other. And that is why many times when we talk here, that it takes us a lot to get them to come here. And for them to come here, I think we need to appreciate the fact that they are taking time out of their very tight schedule. You and I have our weekends free, but these guys don't. Trust me. In fact, they work more on weekends than they do during the week. So that is why you see sometimes some of them will join us from their car whilst they were on the move to another. I think we had another lady sometime last year who immediately after the program here, she put the camera on herself, following her from our conference to another meeting that she was going to, and she met people from the other meeting who were waiting for her to speak to us. So that says a lot about the kind of crop of leaders that we have now, who, despite their crazy schedules, they still want to spend time with us. That is why when we say we want to limit our conference to 2 hours, that is the reason, because we don't want to belabor them. If they are taking time out of their busy schedules to spend 2 hours with us, I think we just need to respect that, to make sure that we do whatever we can to make sure that we don't overstretch our luck with them. So thank you so very much, everybody, for your understanding. Again, today we've got only 15 minutes left now. We've got about 6 or 7 hands up. So we will be limiting whatever question we'll be asking now again still to one minute. But then, as our technical team are still working to get our special guests back on, we will be calling on participants now to throw in their question. We will take note of that. As soon as the our special comes in, then whoever was the co-host at the time would then field all of those questions to our special guests, who would then answer them one after the other. So thank you so very much. So I'm going to be calling on Honorable Bayibu now to come on and ask and call on the next 3 participants. But like I said, we are closing in 15 minutes time. So please make your question brief. We want to know where you're calling from, your name, and then you go straight to your question. Thank you so very much. Honorable Shumbayibu, you have the floor now. Thank you.
Thank you, my chief host, Ambassador J.K. Adebola. Just right on followed that the special advisor is not sit at the moment. As the chief host has stated, I'll be calling on the following 3 people. The very first one will be Prince Dr. Adewale. Please, can we have your question, where you're coming from, your name, so that we can take your question down and then we'll relate that to the honorable special advisor. Thank you. Prince Dr. Adewale, please. Can we unmute Prince Dr. Adewale, please? Thank you. Can you have your question, sir? It seems we're having issue with Prince Adewale. Can we go on to Venerable Gabriel Shoulder in the place?
Hello.
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 Yeah, hello. This is Prince Dr. Adewale Akinyale.
Okay, go ahead, sir. With
Thank
your
you very
question,
much.
sir. Thank you.
Yeah, good evening, House.
Good evening.
Permit me to start by first congratulating His Excellency, our President, Ashwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, on his 73rd birthday. Wish him all the best. My question was for our guest, Honorable Sunday Dali. Unfortunately, I think there was a technical problems. So let me go straight. I had wanted him to provide an update on the current administration's progress in implementing its campaign promises, particularly in areas such as economic development, security, and infrastructure growth. Because, those on the other side or in the opposition have always criticized us in so many ways. So, and we are trying our best to see that we provide them with all the necessary, answers as we may deem fit, and based on the current dispensation that we belong and part of parcel of it. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much, sir. We can assure you that we'll pass your message, the question down to Honorable, even though it's not here today. We have a target of passing those information to them, and then we then get back to you. Thank you very much, sir. And now, Venerable Gabriel Shoulder in the place. Venerable, can Venerable be on mute, please? Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
Go ahead, sir.
Thank you for this opportunity. My name is Venerable Gabriel Shudende. I'm calling from Manchester, United Kingdom. I'm a part of this platform. I've always been here. And I want to first congratulate our president, Mr. President, on this occasion of his birthday. Happy birthday to you, sir. And we pray that may you succeed on all you have set yourself to do. I pray God will help you out. And also to appreciate our special guest who has been with us all along. But just to go to my point very quickly, of late we've been hearing about the crude for naira plan with the local refinery, but we are not sure. Nothing is coming from the government side to clarify. Has that been stopped or is it still ongoing? Because that is being claimed to be the reason for now recent spike in price of crude. Yeah, I mean, if we leave room, if government doesn't address this in terms of communicating with the populace, the information will run riot out there, and it will begin to demarcate what government says to do. I know this may be economic thing or perhaps the petroleum industry or whatever, but then since we have the special advisor on media and public communication here, I think it's something that needs to be addressed together with the NOA or whoever. Because that is the first thing. The second one I want to say is a lot of communication that do go out in terms of responding to people who are abusing president, abusing the wife, abusing all this. Yes, fine, it may not sit well with us, but there's a saying that when you stop to throw stick at every barking dog, you are not going to get to where you are going. So at times, it's better we ignore these people for their nuisance value when they are ignored, because responding to them gives them traction. And when they give them traction, they begin to gain a lot of unnecessary mileage. And because we have a lot of people who are looking for the downfall of the government, so they now hop on that and begin to paint the government in bad light that, oh, they are cracking down. Those are just my views that I want. I will want the honorable special advisor to look into, so that we nip this thing in the bud before it goes be out of hand. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Venerable Gabriel. We can assure you that the message you pass on to the special advisor, so that you can and we respond to you accordingly. Can I have Madam Blessing Fubu Badger, please? I'm not sure that I pronounced it properly. Madam Blessing, please. Thank you. Blessing for.
Good evening to you.
So Blessing is a male. Sorry.
Yeah, my name is Blessing for Baji.
For Baje. Sorry, sir, for the pronunciation. Go ahead, please. Make it snappy, please.
Yeah, what I want to talk about is government officials should please establish more mining sites and manufacturing factories so that all unemployed youths will have where to work. And again, it has belonged that state governments and presidency have employed massively. There are some ministries that are working on that, but most of them are on pending. They should please do this. They should employ unemployed youth massively. I personally, I have graduated since 2023. I completed my NYC last year. I need a government job, either to teach in secondary school or be a lecturer. I studied biology education. Job is all what I'm talking about. Job.
Yeah. Oh, Mr. Blessing, thank you for that. I think we'll pass down to the Honorable Minister. I think I get your point that you're looking for a job, and I hope that you get one. And I believe under this renewed administration is job for all. Nobody will left on the attended to, and that's why Mr. President is working at. He has dedicated himself in his birthday message that he's going to work harder than before. So, and I believe that you will definitely be included in the next phase of things. I will now go back to my chief host to continue this program. Thank you, JK, Mr. Debola.
Thank you so very much, Honorable Baiwu. I think we're still having that technical hitch with our special guest, which is unfortunate. But like I said to everyone, we are taking note of every question that you're throwing out. We will pass it on to our special guest who will then respond to it. And again, especially to this one is for the one for today is to be expected because the man, because of his zeal and his interest in ensuring that he addressed Nigerians globally, he decided, despite the fact that he's got a very tight schedule for today, to join the conference whilst he's in transit from one event to the other. So I guess maybe that is what what necessitated the breaking transmission that we've had so far. But our engineers are still working on it, and as soon as they are able to come back on, we will bring him on, and just to get him to answer other questions. And after that, then we'll pass on all the questions that we asked before now to him for him to respond to it. Thank you so very much, everybody, for being part of this program. It is wonderful having you on here. So we will be moving on by calling. We've got only 5 minutes now. So please pardon me. I'm just gonna call on 2 people. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hands up. But because we've got 5 minutes left, like I said, I don't want us to go beyond the 2 hours. If I don't get to call you, please ensure that you put your question on the chat room with your details, either email address or telephone number, whichever one you want to get a response from. Just put it on there. Then we'll pass it on to our special guest who will then respond directly to you guys. So for now, I've got Osman Ogwanyi and Chika Oko. These are the 2 people that I'm going to be calling. So again, my apologies to the other people who has their hands up and won't be able to call today. I mean, you can also see that we're out of time now. So we have 4 minutes to go now. So please, Osman Ogwanyi, you have the floor now. Please come up with your questions. Thank you very much. Osman Ogwanyi. I hope I pronounced the name right. Ogwanyi. Thomas Ogwanyi. Please let's unmute him.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Loud and clear, yeah. Okay, it looks like Honorable Ogwanyi is not forthcoming. Can we move swiftly now to Chika Oko, please? Chika Oko, you have the floor now.
You are not hearing me.
Now, who do we have now? Who do we have now talking?
This is
Osman?
talking.
Okay, also, yeah,
This
yeah,
is
you have the floor now. Yeah, you have the floor now. Just 1 minute, please.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, because of the time, like I said, my name is Osman. I'm joining from the United Kingdom. I recently joined APC in my wards in Iboise South in Enugu State, and they nominated me as a stakeholder, and I've been playing my part. So, my question is just, I'll just be straight because it's about communication, just like it was mentioned. So, but I'm also trying to look at, some of us, we are trying to sell this party with our contacts and our influence at the grassroots level especially in the southeastern part of Nigeria. But sometimes, someone was mentioning something to me, and it's something I said I will just, if I have an opportunity, I'll ask. It's about the issue of railway projects going on in the country. It seems none is actually happening in the southeastern part of Nigeria. Meanwhile, the north and then the southwest is in connecting. And I just want to know, as a party, and then our dear leader, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, what plan does he have for people in our own part of the country, so that even those of us that are championing, trying to grow the party at our area, will be able to defend some of those topics, because the talk is always about the issue of marginalization, and then sometimes it's difficult to explain or to even defend if you don't have the information. Maybe okay, that even though it has not started, maybe this one has been awarded, it's going to come, or there are stuff like that. So I think that's just the only question I'll have. The other one, I will just say happy birthday to our dear president, and wishing him many more strong and then healthy years ahead. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Honorable Osman Ogwuanyi, for that question. Let me just move on swiftly to the last caller for today, which is Chika Oko. Chika Oko, you have the floor now. You have 1 minute. But like I said, other participants that have their hands up, please put your question on the chat room with your contact details, so that when we pass it on to our special guests, then they can respond to you directly. Thank you very much. So you have the floor now, Chika.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chika Bimbola Oko. I'm calling from the United Kingdom. I had two questions for this senior special advisor that I wanted to ask. I think the first one is, because some of us have followed the president for a very long time, and we've seen that the politics of 2027 have started with the opposition. We can see they've started to steal the narrative away from us, most especially in the last couple of weeks with the Natasha Gate and with NAS, and also with Rivers. So the question for us is, the question I wanted to ask him is, what role and how is the presidential media team making sure that they are aligning with other media arms of the government to ensure that we can quickly douse and be on top of the media narrative? Because the president signed the Southwest Development, a couple of development commissions, and that's not even in the news. What we are worried and distracted by is things that are frivolous, in my view. So how is the media office staying on top of it? And the second question is, how can we help? Right. So sometimes we don't know how much Ambassador J.K. Adebola has said, how these people work 24/7. How can we take the burden off them? How can we help? It would be good to hear from him once you guys have passed the message to him. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you so very much for the last call. I think I like the last question you posed now, that how do we take the burden off them? Because whether we like it or not, this platform is providing a platform for a heart-to-heart interaction between us and our leaders. And you threw that question for me, set me thinking. And I like that. I like this kind of questions that tax one's intellect, to begin to think beyond the realm upon which we will base our objectives. So thank you so very much for that. I think we will be sending the your questions to our special guest because we don't seem to be able to bring him back on now, and we've gone beyond the time allotted for him to be with us. So, but then there are some issues that you raised, which is one of it is the Natasha Gate, and the other one is the River State issue. Now, these are issues that, for instance, for the River State issue are issues that has been dealt with by the presidency. So for us, as far as we're concerned, I don't think we need to go into it too much. Events will unfold, and in the next couple of days or weeks, we'll have a clarity on that. And the same thing goes for the Natasha issue. It's strictly National Assembly matters, which I think they will be able to deal with. It is not yet an issue that we will deal with here on this platform. But I can assure everybody that when the time comes for us to deal with it, we will deal because we don't shy from anything. But because there are some legalities regarding that, especially the Natasha Uduahan one, she has gone to court on certain aspects of the issue. So I don't want us to dwell too much on it. But when the time is ripe, of course, that is why we have this platform. We will dwell on it. So, but like you said, your questions will be passed on to our special guest, and I believe so long as you put your details there, either the telephone number, your telephone number or email address, that will be responded to. So again, my apologies to all the hands that we have up. We have Joseph Lutade, Sen Sam, I believe it's Senator Sam, and Samsung S9. My apologies to you guys. We won't be able to call you because we said we just want to restrain ourselves to 2 hours strictly. If I had been talking about it for weeks, and perhaps for those who don't believe me, we saw it again today that our special guest done those in his car, which says a lot. Because these guys have what I consider crazy. You think it's just a busy lifestyle, but for me, I consider it crazy because we are the ones that deals with them. Sometimes it takes us months to get just one person to come and sit with us here. And for our special guest today now, even when he agreed to was because there's a staccato event that goes on, even at last minute, the presidency may just call them. Because I remember when we had Ajurin Gilali here, right in the middle of the program, the president called him and he had to go. So he promised us he was going to come back the following day. These are the kind of craziness in their schedule. I'm just bringing it out for us to understand how things work because we live in a time where the country is in a complex situation, and that complexity demands a lot of sacrifice from our leaders, and our president is doing as much as he can. So for the time being, let me just hand over to Honorable Tosin Olayinka to maybe just go talk to our people for a few minutes because I've got a couple of phone calls coming in. So maybe I might have some kind of big news for you guys. So Honorable Tosin Olayinka, please, you have the floor now. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Chief Host. It was just brought to my notice now that we have Right Honorable Ogala SAN in the house who may want to briefly address our participants. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Yeah.
Well, I'm just here to observe, and I've just listened to JK's skills for the essay. Like you know, it's a busy day in the villa today. It's our president's birthday. My too might be joining him soon. But just to say, well, we wish him a happy day. We wish him many more years of steering our country. We pray for him, give him the wisdom and the strength to lead us aright. And for JK and the Renewed Hope team, as again say, I continuously say, thank you, and thank you for what you do, and for propagating the government of our leader, Ashwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who, though some may misunderstand him, who has very, very, very robust and well thought out plans to put this country right after the retardation we have had over the last couple of decades. So I just say thank you and wish us all well.
Oh, thank you very much, sir. I'm sure we'll pass the information over to him as well. Thank you, participants. Just for a moment, I may want to check if our chief host, Ambassador J.K. Adebola, is back.
Yes, thank you so very much. You got some, you know, talk about saved by the bell. you should just came on. I just saw you flashing at me, and I knew you know I needed to get off, and you came on and saved the day. Thank you so very much again. Like I said, Honorable Ogala is our grand patron, and he's one person that we all, the team behind this conference, hold in high esteem. He's the man who has always had our back, and every time he comes on, we just have to give him the audience. So thank you so very much, sir, for again coming on like you always do to give us your words of wisdom. Again, like I said, I just need to apologize to all the hands that's up. We won't be able to call any more hands now because we are 8 minutes into our time. And like I said, I think what happened today now is a testament to what we have always been saying, that our leaders, despite their crazy schedule, they always make time for us. And within that time that they make for us, we try to squeeze in as much as we can to ensure that we get as much as we can from them, but then without necessarily belaboring them, because when it comes to the matters of the state, the country take precedence over anything else. So that is why I believe our special guest for today, even though he got cut off midway, I'm sure on the nick of time, he has to attend to the next event. So that is what he's playing at the moment now. So I just want all of us to understand that bit, that it's not as if they're ignoring us. For him to be talking to us right from inside his car says a lot as to the receptiveness of the kind of leaders that we have now, which we have never had before. I have to add that. I have to add that to what I'm talking about now. We've never had that before. This is the first time that we have. I think this is about the third or fourth time that I'm talking of this dispensation now. This dispensation is the first time that we have about 3 or 4 leaders coming to speak to us while sitting in their car because they have other pressing engagements to attend to. So that says a lot. And for that, we remain eternally grateful to them. So thank you so very much, all our leaders. And again, thank you so very much for our grand patron, Babatunde Ogola. He is the he's a senior advocate of Nigeria, as well as the senior counsel to our president. He is the man who, in case you have forgotten, about 2 or 3 times, he has come on here to tell us that he is working on getting the president himself, to come to speak to Nigerians from this platform. So watch this space. That's going to happen anytime from now. When our grand patron speaks, we all listen because we know he's speaking from the position of strength and from the position of knowledge. So thank you so very much, sir, for coming on again today, like you always do. He sneaks up on us once in a while like that. It's unfortunate I didn't get to see him today because I would have been the one to announce him. But I think he's found a way now to dodge me and and get onto my co-host. So either way, we remain grateful to you, sir. Thank you so very much for always being there for us, because your support means a lot to us and we don't take it for granted. Thank you very much. So to all our participants and to all our followers following us on Ben TV, YouTube, and all other channels, millions of you guys, we appreciate you and we say thank you so much for being there, because every week without fail you are always with us, and for that we remain eternally grateful. We will continue because you are the reason why we keep doing it, even though it's not easy. But once we think of your support, we have no choice but to begin to dig in deep to ensure that we come to you every week. Next week is another day. It could be either Saturday, it could be Sunday, but definitely next week we are coming back to you with another VVIP from this government. You can be rest assured of that. Just keep your diary free, Saturday or Sunday. In the next couple of days, we will be coming back with details of the next VVIP that will be coming on to our program. So please keep it a day with us as you always do. We are just remember we appreciate you, because without you there'll be no us, and that is why we continue to do what we are doing. And again, oh, I forgot to mention highlights. Again tonight, I think it's for the 6th or 7th time now. We still have, I keep saying it, they don't come any bigger than that. The Right Honorable Femi Gbadabiamila, the Chief of Staff to no less than our President. He again was on our program tonight. And you see, what amazes me about this gentleman is the fact that he comes in from the beginning and he stays to the end. That says a lot too. You see? So even though it keeps us on our toes, but we love it, the fact that we have somebody from the presidency who is interested in what we are doing. Again, I think that for me should be some kind of reassurance to Nigerians across the globe that for the first time in our history in this country, we have a government who is interested in the perception of its populace regarding the policies that the government is doing. That is what Chief Right Honorable Femi Gbadabiamila represents, because he's here to observe what are the perceptions of Nigerians about this government, what is it that they're expecting from this government, so that he can, because he has the eyes and the ears of the president. He is the last person to see him at night and the first person to see him in the morning. So for him to be on this program on, I think, 6th or 7th consecutive weeks, for me, like they said in the street, is the bump. Let me go down to my 30s now. It's the bump. So for that, we remain eternally so grateful to him. And not only that, we have other staff from the presidency who every week now for the past 5 or 6 weeks, they have a special place in the villa now, in the conference room, created specifically for this program. Every Saturday, they remain glued to their screens, watching us as we do what we do. So that is why we are always very, very meticulous as to who we're allowed to speak on this program, and we are always always on the button to ensure that everybody who comes on is someone who has some kind of value to add to this government. So for that, we remain eternally grateful, because this is the first time we have a government that is I'm struggling to find the right words to describe them. But be that as it may, all I can just say is that we have a government in place now that is kind of interested in how people perceive what is going on today. So for that, I think Nigerians across, not just Nigerians in Nigeria alone, but Nigerians across the globe must be grateful that we now have a president who has a team around him who are interested in what Nigeria thinks about the leaders. And not only that, they are prepared and ready to do, if they have to tweak whatever they have to tweak to ensure that the country moves forward or the people are happy, they are ready to do it. So that is, and we've seen it week in, week out, where leaders come to our program, even when they had a very, very crazy schedule, they still find time to speak with us, which is exactly what happened today. So for that, we remain eternally grateful to everybody. Thank you so much, sirs. And thank you so much for our participant too. What can I say? You guys have been the rock upon which this conference continues to rely, because you are the reasons why we continue to do what we do every week, even though it's not easy. But by the time when we think of what the support that we get from you guys, we can't help but continue to go ahead and make sure that we bring to Nigerians across the world what is happening within the corridors of power. And that's why the heatings that we have today, there are so many exposés that we got from today. You'll be hearing that from me tomorrow in my thank you message. Well, we will let the world know what this government has been doing, how much has been achieved in the space of 18 months that this government has been in power, and what else to expect in the next 2 years plus that they have to spend. Because whether we like it or not, Nigeria is no longer in ICU. Let me put it that way. When they came in, we were in ICU. We are no longer in ICU now. We're still in, I don't know, maybe A&E or whatever it is. And by the time they finish it, I'm sure we'll be out of the woods, and everything will be hunky dory from there. So thank you so very much, everybody, for being part of this program. Please watch out again for next week. We will be coming out to you maybe tomorrow, because that's how it's been happening now since the beginning of this year. Maybe by tomorrow, or maybe Monday, we'll come to you. We'll come to you with details of the next VIP that will be coming on our program for next week. Thank you ever so much. I remain yours truly, JK Adebola, and thank you to all my co-hosts, from Boyo to Deme to Toshola Yinka to Musheye, all of you. Thank you ever so much. So let me just call, in order to draw the curtains now, we need to give you guys the vote of thanks. So let me call on Honorable Damagum to give us the vote of thanks now. Then we'll close completely, and Honorable Deme will give us the closing audio. Thank you so very much. Honorable Damagum, you have the floor now. Thank you.